YouTube? It's your boy Alex here, back with yet another video, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about how important it is. So, I'd like to eradicate something that I said in my last video, which was that I heard that there wasn't going to be a halftime show. Because I think, to be honest with you, a lot of the reasons why those rumors flew around was because of the simple fact that in the EA Play demos that we saw, it kind of looked like there wasn't a halftime show. I mean, because they skipped over it. It didn't even seem like there was presentation. And watch as there's a plane flying right over my head, and it's probably going to interfere. So I'm just going to wait to stop talking for a few moments, just in case my voice gets distorted. Nothing may happen, but I don't know. Okay, anyways, guys. So, I don't know if the audio got distorted because the plane just flew over my head. But just in case you didn't miss anything. Okay, so, now that that's out of the way. Yeah, if there is a halftime show for Madden 19, and there's supposed to be a blog tomorrow talking about how big this halftime show is supposed to be for Madden. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a pregame show, but there might be some lackluster parts of this halftime show, but it is going to be new and it is supposed to be fresh. But I'm going to explain to you why it can't be as authentic as we would like it to be. And what I mean by that is why we can't get replays from other teams and teams across the league on like the same day that we played or whatever the case may be. The reasoning for that is, and I'm going to explain how ESPN NFL 2K5 pulled it off, and then we'll talk about why it's not realistic for this current modern age and why it wouldn't work out. Okay, because I'm going to base off what I've heard talking to a few YouTubers here and there about it, and based off the blog, not vlog, this wasn't a video, this was a thing online, an article. Anyways, so I'm going to explain how it works in ESPN NFL 2K5, and then you guys are going to probably understand it a little bit better and make sense of it, and you're not just going to think, well, EA is lazy. And I'm not an EA fanboy, but just hear me out. So the way that ESPN NFL 2K5 did it is that the replays for the halftime show and the postgame show, they were pre-canned. And basically what that means is every time you saw a play, it was an illusion. And what I mean by that is there was predetermined cutscenes, and what they did was they programmed it so that they can reskin all the player models and stuff and make it look different every time. So if you guys don't know what reskin means, it's basically they took a cutscene and they pretty much made it so that it could be universal, so that let's say you had a modded roster, you could use those rosters and you could use those players, but it was a clip, okay? Yet the way ESPN NFL 2K5 rendered the halftime show, the games weren't actually being simulated in real time. And what that means is, well, let's say a player broke a tackle, right? And it was a running play. He broke a few tackles. He went, I don't know, 59 yards or whatever the case may be for a touchdown. Okay, they had predetermined outcomes in ESPN NFL 2K5 in order to render the halftime show, because keep in mind, in 2004, they did not have the technology to do backdown rendering, meaning these games weren't being simulated in the background as you were playing your game. That's how it works. And how else can I explain this to make it easier to sound? Because even I couldn't wrap my head around it for the longest time, but now I'm pretty sure certain I know what it works. Okay, basically, what a predetermined clip is let's use this as an example. In the early 2000s, if you saw, for example, if you saw a trailer, or let's say you played a game from like PS2, right? And it had a cutscene, but the cutscenes looked like they were out of engine, like it didn't look anything like the actual game. That means that it was a predetermined cutscene. The characters look super realistic and the worlds look super realistic because it was out of the game engine. Okay, what that means is the game didn't utilize the same assets to make its cutscenes as it did to make its gameplay. So it's almost like the game. Think of it as the game loading up a DVD video clip. That is what the console is doing. That's actually how a lot of cutscenes in video games were rendered back in the day. Now they're rendered in real time. Now they're rendered in the environments, but that's because technology has gotten better. So the cutscenes are made with the same assets as the game engine. Probably sounded really confusing, but I'm a video game nerd and I don't know how else to explain it any better. Anyways, so now, but here we take a twist, because ESPN NFL 2K5, it actually did use real endgame footage. That was ESPN NFL 2K5 animations. That was ESPN NFL 2K5 gameplay. But what they did was they programmed it so that, and this is just an educated guess, but what I'm assuming they probably did was they took the polygons and then they just simulated the video clips with the polygons, and then they turned those into video clips. Now, when you saw the Chris Berman show, what happened was those were predetermined video clips, but they were made in such a way that they weren't necessarily pre-rendered, but they also were predetermined. So not being pre-rendered, meaning they were actually utilizing the game engine, but they were also video clips. Again, it's confusing. I feel like somebody else would have to explain it, but that's how EA explained it in their blog. And I didn't believe this at first. I thought the blog was kind of BSing, and then one YouTuber told me that he actually saw replays repeat. The same play, the same animations played out the same way, and the player ran the same route and everything the same exact way. So that tells you that it was a clip, it was predetermined, and basically the reason that wouldn't work in Madden is because people would, if you played the game, okay, you know how the commentary lines, they're canned, okay? So if you play the game for a few weeks, you might hear some new commentary that you didn't hear in last year's game, but eventually the lines of dialogue are going to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Well, that's basically how it worked in ESPN NFL 2K5. They had video clips of the players, but then they had it programmed so that they could reskin the players. So, like, let's say you were using modded rosters and you had Stephon Diggs in ESPN NFL 2K5. He would run that same route because it was a predetermined animation, and if you played the game long enough, eventually you'd see that same play out the same exact way for, like, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. So okay, let's explain. Let's say this video was me, okay? Right, it's me right now. It's me talking to you guys. But let's say we're in a real weird alternate reality where we can shapeshift, okay? And I'm not me. I'm an Asian guy or something. Again, it's not to be racist. This is just being random. This is completely random. I'm an Asian guy, right? But I look like an Asian guy. I sound like an Asian guy, but I'm saying the same exact words. I'm making the same exact motions. That's basically how it works. That's basically what reskinning is in a video game, is that they take the same play and they apply it to different character models and player models. There's really no other way to explain this, but except at the end of the day, it was pre-canon, it was predetermined. If you don't know that, you don't know that. I don't know how else to explain it to you. That's it. I know that was a ramble, but that's how it works, because I want to get through people's thick heads that in today's modern era of gaming, this would actually be really cheesy looking. So, with that being said, I have a feeling the way it's going to work is that they're going to try to make it more dynamic in the sense that they can show the stats from around the league. Now, I did hear something, though, going forward. So going forward, it sounds like they will be able to, or they could eventually implement a fully integrated halftime show with all highlights from around the league. However, it would have to work in a way that with the current state that technology is in, they couldn't do it without only doing it for online. And from what I heard, I guess they want to wait until the technology is more advanced so that they can do it with both single player franchise mode and Madden Ultimate Team, or not Madden Ultimate Team, but like an online franchise. So, which leads me to my next point. The reason why technology I don't know the reason, but basically, I'm going to put it plain and simple. The real reason why they can't do it non-predetermined, The reason why is because technology has not advanced to the point where they can simulate the games in real time and render different stadiums in the background. They couldn't do it with the ESPN NFL 2K5. They had an illusion. Like I just spent like probably 5 minutes explaining. They had an illusion, and to give you the feel that another game was going on, but really it was the same video clips just with different players. Again, it's predetermined. It was rigged. So they knew how the plays would work. It was just a matter of how many video clips that they could fit in the memory. But the thing is, to show you just how primitive technology is, the PS2 version of ESPN NFL 2K5 couldn't even do that halftime show because it was, at the time, the issue was it was too many video clips. We weren't even talking about being dynamic. We were just talking about video clips in general. Not enough space. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of the games on the PS2 were less than a gigabyte of memory. That's how freaking small that's actually how small the games had to be in order to fit on a PS2. So technologies came a long ways, and that's why graphics are so advanced and yada yada yada. So guys, I hope that's cleared up some questions as to why the halftime show wouldn't properly work. Now I'm going to move on to why it's important. And why it's important is the simple fact that it adds immersion. So until we get that fully authentic halftime show, it's probably not going to be super immersive, but if we can at least get stats from around the league and better commentary, or believable commentary that sounds like they're trying to tell a story, it ain't going to be worth it. I don't even know how far people made it into this video, because this is a long freaking ramble and it's probably draining to listen to, but I'm trying to explain to you guys the best I can as to why the regular halftime show won't work. And I know I'm probably not the greatest at explaining this shit, but somebody's got to explain it, and try to explain it the best I can. Otherwise, we're always going to be biased to EA, and that's not really fair because, yes, I know they lie to us a lot. They make promises that they can never really keep, but we also got to do a reality check and realize that maybe technology isn't advanced to the point where we can get dynamic simulations and have other games rendered in the background, and until we get to that point, we can't really complain. But anyways, this is your boy Alex, and I'm signing out. Peace.